Adam. You're back at the Hoosier Garage. Welcome to Indiana. The 72 Duster. We have it sitting out right now. When you saw it on the introduction, it was in the dark shed, and it was really, I'm sorry about it, it was just very dark photography, but I was excited to have another car in the stable. And we're just going to look at it as it's starting to sprinkle and just see what it needs. Now it's down the road. We can't work on it yet. We got the van, but we're coming along on the van. We're in between videos on that, and we just want to show you, keep you interested, let you see what we got, because you might be interested in getting one of these cars, or you have one yourself, or you want to know what are you going to deal with a car that looks this rough. And it's a rough car, but we're going to go through and just tell you this car needs this, and how are we going to go about it. And if you got any questions, leave it in the comments or send me a message. We'll be glad to discuss it. But when I looked at this car, there was a few things I knew that were good on it, and that's the frame. Particularly if you're new, you want a good frame, because if you got to cut any of that stuff out, you're asking for a lot of work, a lot of headaches, because of the frame holds everything together, and you cut out sections, big time trouble. My first car, 74 Duster, back 20 years ago, had frame rot, and I didn't realize it until I got it home. But you live and you learn, and hopefully I can help you with that. The main places for the frame rot is if you're looking behind these wheels, the frame rail that goes up in behind there, and it's kind of obvious. You see a little bit of it here. So if you have the control arms, which holds all your suspension, that's usually where it all gathers, and that's where mine was rotted. So you got to watch that, and as well as the other side. Everything's symmetrical here. Another place to look on that same frame rail is down through here. Particularly if it's a B body, like a Charger or a Satellite, you'll see a part of it here, but as it goes down in under the car, they tend to rot right here where the brake proportioning valve is. That's a bad spot for them. And our friend on YouTube, Lunar's Outlaw Garage, his Satellite, he found had a huge hole of rot there, and he's ambitious. He wants to get the project done, so he's going to get a frame and replace that piece. Remember, if it's on that side, it could be on this side. Not as bad usually, but you got to watch that side too. Watch for anything. Those are really straight frame rails, so if they're crooked, there's something wrong. Another place you can look, and let's just go front and back. So in the back, your frame rails on these cars, and most cars, would come up through here. See where this plug is? There's a frame rail that comes here, goes up over and into the back seat area, and then it stops. Same thing here on this side. Now, if you look under here, where your leaf springs are, now these are not original, these are the extended shackles, but right up here, this is your spring perch mount. A lot of times they'll rot out right here, or they'll rot out up inside here behind this lap weld, and you have a huge hole up in there, okay? Now there's a factory hole that's up there, it's square, so I know we're good there. We don't have rot through. And also look on this side too, there's a round hole, but it's not eaten out, so we're good there. Same thing over here. We just have the typical rust, but it's not bad rust where you'll have to take it all apart and really rebuild everything. So that's your basic frame rails. Now, one of the big things, and you can kind of see it in this car, due to the rot of the floor pans. Now, we just spoke about Lunar's Outlaw Garage. He had a torsion bar mount that was rotted away over on that side. And you can see it through the floor. See the flange coming through here, this frame that comes this way, and this is part of it here too. It goes across, and underneath here there's your torsion bars, which you don't have coil springs on these cars, and that allows the spring, the suspension to work on the front end. So if they're rotted out, then you're possibly compromising your safety or the ride. So that's something you want to have solid if you're not into replacing that. And that's most of the frame. A lot of it depends also, you have these rocker panels, and then the roof. That's the rest of your unibody construction. These rocker panels are in good shape. They just have some holes here where they mesh in with the quarter panels. But the insides of them Underneath they're good. So we shouldn't need rocker panels. We might have to do some patch panels. But both sides look just like this. They're in great shape. They're not bashed in. And one good thing to tell you about that the frame is in good shape and everything. And it's not the door hinges, but the door's shut really nice. Usually that's rare on something this bad. Now I'll tell you, outside of the frame being in good shape, you've got to look at what you want to repair. These cars are getting to the point, they're getting 50 years old, and if you want to have a good car to start with, but with the prices being so high, it's really hard. You got to have some money. Not all of us have money. We would try to do things on a budget. Well, I'm like that too. So if I got a car like this, I spent a reasonable price for it, but not outrageous, because I know I can fix it. You just got to decide where's your limit, and if you feel like it's beyond your limit, but you still want to get involved, that's what we're here for. We can help you move through it. We can show you how to attack it and not let it overwhelm you. I'll tell you right now, the first thing I say with this is that it needs a floor. It doesn't need a floor section, it needs a whole floor. They do make them though, that's good. About $500, almost $600 by the time you get it shipped. But you will need a floor. But let me tell you this, you do the floor in this thing with the whole piece, it's easier than doing them in sections, because in sections you got to butt weld, you got to cut, you got to make your cuts right, you got to make sure you seal it underneath where you welded from the top and you can't get to the other side. It's chaos. But if you have one bad floor pan and you replace that section, then good for you. Just try to be thorough and do it right. But when you have the whole thing rotted out, come on in here real quick. You got a seam right here. See this black stuff? And this is where the seam goes. This laps up on top of the inside of this rear section. Okay, so that's the back of your floor pan. In the front, if you look over here, see that seam where all that gooey seam sealer is up in there, and it comes up over here and then crosses through on this side all the way to this corner where you take this tape out, comes all the way up to here. That's the front of your floor pan, and it butts like this. So here's the firewall and here's the floor pan, so it butts in like that. So once you break that loose, you break this loose, and then down the sides here, if I lift this out, here's where it ends on the sides. See this sealer? That's sealing where this piece laps up on top of the rocker panel, and you got a bunch of spot welds. And once you remove that, then you are just left with cleaning it up and then putting your new pan in. That's a little harder in certain ways because you got to get that out. So there's ways around it, and if you stick with us, we'll show you exactly how to do that. A good, easy way, quickest way that I know how to do it if you don't have all the tools. So keep that in mind. Now if we go to the back again, we do know some people would probably try to make this work, is this trunk floor. It's bashed up here in the middle where the gas tank would hang underneath it, and you can buy just this section. So if you get a car that all this looks good, but this is rotted out, which they usually are, you can buy just the bottom well here. It has all the ribs, the holes, and everything you need. But I'm seeing rot up here, here. They drilled some holes there. It's rotted up in here where the seam intersects with the wheel well and the extension. And even over here. And the limitations of this go from here, and there's a lap that rolls down, or a pinch I should say, so from about here all the way up to the wheel well, and it wraps around, and that's what this thing is here. See the seam? It's much like the floor pan up front. It just laps up on top of it, and here it folds down. And it comes all the way back, and you can see it right here. It's hard to tell with all this rust, but this is the edge of it. Goes across here and goes underneath and all the way across. So you would remove that, but make sure you get your new one first so you can verify, because some of them are different cuts. If you go through AMD and they still have one, they would have the complete floor section. Now with that, we're going to have to replace that. These are your drop-offs or your trunk extensions. They have what you see here, and then they wrap down and they conform to the shape of the outer quarter panel. This one isn't exactly bad. It's repairable, except for the bottom corner on the outside of the car. So we probably will replace it anyways. Same thing with that one. They kind of mirror image each other there too. So those will probably need replaced. This section up in here is good. There's absolutely no problem with that, and there usually never is. If there is anything up in here, like where it meets with the trunk floor, we can always repair that with some basic sheet metal. Now another thing, this could be repaired, but I think it'll just be easier to get a panel, and that would be this tail panel, or the tail light panel. Because we got some rock going on here, we've got rock coming all the way out to here, see it's just completely going back to nature. And this piece begins here with this lip, which is banged up anyways. And if you tear this loose here, you'll see a seam, and it comes around to here, and it kind of blends in here behind some lead filler. Well, that's where it meets with the quarter panel, and it comes down, meets up with the trunk pan that we was just looking at, that seam I showed you, it laps up against that, and you got this piece right here. This is a part of this, okay? This is part of your rear cross member, so that's separate. It's in good shape, but this is not. So we'll say we'll need a trunk, 2 extensions, and a tail panel. Now we're getting up there in money, but you also got to figure what you pay for it. Can you do it? And if you can do it, you can be patient and do it right, then that money you spend on a nice panel here, there, and add it all up might be what you would pay, or even less, than a car that's completely done or in better shape to begin with. At this point, it's getting the other way where it's really hard to get a hold of this stuff. So outside of this back portion area, and this has seemed like typical on Dusters for years in most old cars, is the lower quarter panels. This one's bashed in and rotted. So looking from the insides of it, whether it be through the back seat area or in through the trunk, the top portion are in really good shape, both sides. It's just the lower section. So from this body line down, we can just cut this completely off, put a new one on, much like we did on the van. And that would give you an excellent time to fit all this in really nice and fit it up, make sure it all meshes together, clamp it together, and then you start tack welding it and spot welding it together. And we'll show you how we do that too. Other than that, and that's, again, quarter panels on both sides, lowers. The doors are in good shape, because you always want to look down in here. If you start seeing a lot of rotted out area here, then you're probably going to have to repair the door or get a new door, and you have to always look underneath, because that's where they'll really collect all your moisture and dirt. These doors need work, but they're in really good shape. Lastly, when we come back up front, we have 2 main areas that are going to need repaired. See, this car hasn't been wrecked, otherwise this would be probably wrinkly, and it's not. But right here, and also on that side, it's where this apron welds up over the superstructure of the car. So you have this rot from moisture coming down through here over the years, and it's gotten it on that side too. Other than that, everything is really solid up here. It just needs refinished, and this is a quarter of the car, because if you look at it in size, it's in really good shape. Now our fenders might need a little bit of work. I know this one will, if anything. That one's actually really good shape. The door's good, our roof's good. The roof is nice and straight. So we have a lot of big money items that we will have to put into it to make it a good car again. Mainly all the floors, really. Trunk, floor, passenger compartment. But once we get past that, you imagine what's left, and there's really just a lot of small stuff. And if you've been following us on the van, you'll see what I'm talking about. So again, 72 Duster. It was originally a 6-cylinder car. Somebody stuck a V8 in it, a 318 out of a van, coincidentally. But they put it in there crooked because they used a 6-cylinder K-frame. And if you're not familiar with what's going on there, in the 72 and back, so if you go rearward into the 60s, the K-frame that they used here looked almost identical between the 6-cylinder and 8-cylinder cars, because this mount here was in exactly the same place. But this engine is crooked because they tried to compromise something, and that's because they used a 6-cylinder frame underneath, and they had to stretch it over here. So they used the wrong mount, so it's sitting there in an angle and it's crooked. So So they make adapter mounts to make that side work so we don't have to replace the entire K-frame. Other than that, we have the 727 transmission, which is the bigger, stronger one, which came in most vans, so it makes sense. And outside of doing stuff like interior, you know, seats, whether it be a bench or bucket seats or console, that's all pretty much up to you. How do you want to do it? I like original stuff, so I tend to spend a little money and get the right stuff in there. As far as period correct, we'll put it that way. Another thing, before we get off of here, it's got drum brakes all the way around, even in the front. Small bolt pattern, because everything before 73 was small bolt pattern. Disc, drum. So we might have to upgrade to the larger later style, so we have more wheel options. And then we had the smaller rear anyways, so that's not gonna really work. So very good chance it'll go to the big bolt pattern. We'll have disc brakes on the front. But for a while, we can live with this. We're not gonna beat up on it or anything when we start driving it. So it'll do the job, and then we just source our money as we go. But one thing I'm gonna add, and this is totally aside from your project, is if you're here in the Hoosier Garage, you're watching this, you enjoy what we do in the van, all the work that we do, we try to do it right or the best way to preserve it and help you out. We're gonna do the same thing on this Duster. So I'd like to ask if you can help our channel out and subscribe, make sure you like the video. If you got a comment, leave us a comment, good or bad. We appreciate really constructive criticism, so that's great. But if you can subscribe, help us out, get us up to 1,000 subscribers, then we're going to start giving out some decals to show the Hoosier Garage logo. So if you help us out that way, it'll help you out, maybe you win something. And you're always going to win if you watch and we're doing this and helping you out with your project. So with that said, I'm going to jump off here. It's raining more than it was when we began. And I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank my nephew Matt for being the camera guy today and helping us get this in and out. So I'll check you out later.